This ain't advice. I'm not your advisor. And as they say in the biz, slap that subscribe button. We're only about 100,000 away from 1,000,000. We're almost there. We're going to do a new little segment here. I'm going to call it What the Fuck Is. And on these segments, I'm going to talk about what the fuck something kind of basic that I think everyone should know is. I'm going to try to break it down. I'm going to start with a pet peeve near and dear to my heart. Tax refund versus tax return. Everybody gets this wrong. It's okay. Don't be ashamed. So what the fuck is a tax return? Importantly, tax return is not the money that you get back. Tax return is the name for the documents that you're filing with the IRS and with your state, if your state has a state income tax. That's the tax return. The return is the thing that you file with the government. It says what you earned, it says what you've paid in taxes, and it even has a line where it says, here is what I therefore owe. That's your tax return. If you haven't filed a tax return, don't worry. They're not that scary. You'll be able to figure it out. It's not a problem. Something a lot of people don't know. You can go back and amend tax returns or file old tax returns for up to 3 years going backwards. And if you're owed a refund, you might as well do it. Go get it. But that's the return. Now a refund, that's when you get money back, tax refund. And a lot of people are confused. They don't understand why they get refunds. They think they should get a refund every year. They're a little confused about how it even happens most of the time. So here's the deal. Most people, when they have a job and they're what's called a W-2 employee, so it's what people think of when they think of an employee. It means you're not a contractor, an independent contractor. It means you get a W-2 at the end of the year instead of a 1099. In that case, every time you get a paycheck, you take a look. You can look and see all these things that were withheld in the paycheck. There's going to be a lot of taxes. There's going to be FICA taxes. There's going to be federal taxes. There might be state or city taxes that are withheld. So all throughout the year, you're paying taxes. You are paying them. They're being taken out of your paycheck. If you make $50,000 and you get 25 pay periods in a year, you are not getting $2,000 pay period. You're going to get $1,400 because $600 is going to go to taxes. I'm making these numbers up, obviously, and nobody has 25 pay periods, but I had to make the numbers easy. So what happens is at the end of the year, there are rules. There are rules that decide how much you owe in taxes given certain amounts of income. You can figure it all out if you punch it all into a program. So what you're doing when you fill out your tax return is you're taking all your sources of income, and if all you have is one W-2, it's pretty simple. And you say what you earned, and you say what you've already paid. And then you do the calculations. And if you have TurboTax or H&R Block or whatever, it'll do them for you. And then it says, okay, you withheld for taxes. You've already paid for taxes, maybe $5,000. And based on your earnings, you only had to pay $4,000. That extra $1,000 that you paid, you get it back. That's your tax refund that you got by filing your tax return. Now, sometimes, and it can be because of the way you filled out, there's a form right when you start a job called a W-4 that you fill out. And this has changed over the years, and they're trying to redo it to make it even more accurate. But it says how many exemptions do you want to claim? And it wants you to fill out some things about yourself that help guess how much you're going to owe in taxes at the end of the year based on like how many kids you have, are you married, things like that. You fill that out a certain way. Maybe you paid $5,000 in taxes throughout the year, withheld from your paycheck, but really you owe $6,000. That's how you end up owing taxes at the end of the year. Or you had your W-2 job, maybe it was spot on, withheld $5,000 and you owe $5,000, but you did a little freelancing on the side. At the end of the year, you get a 1099 for $3,000 of income that you had. Well, that 1099 income, that doesn't have anything withheld from it. So you're going to have to report that, and that's going to bump you up. And now when you file your tax return, it's going to say, okay, you put in 5 and you owed 5 from the W-2, but once we factor in this 1099 income, you actually owe us an extra $1,000. So that happens a lot too. Very common, something to think about. But that's the basics of how it works. Remember, the tax return is the thing that you file. I know it's got the word return in it, and a lot of times money gets returned to you, but that's not it. It's the tax refund is the money you get. So please, for the sake of my heart, keep them straight, do your best. And that's the first segment of What the Fuck Is.